2 Samuel 11 and 12. We started looking at 2 Samuel 11. And we have thoroughly examined the righteous man that died. That's Uriah. Now today we are not dwelling on Uriah. And the title of the topic then was spiritual insensitivity or spiritual sensitivity. So today the title of the topic is spiritual insensitivity and its consequences, part 2. The same passage, but today we are going to be dwelling on David. Remember we said the righteous man, yet he was a righteous man, he died. Now this time around, a righteous man, yet he backslided. Praise the Lord. So let's quickly go to 2 Samuel 11. And I will read. It happened in the spring of the year, at the time when kings go out to battle, that David sent Joab and his servant with him and all Israel, and they destroyed the people of Haman and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem. If you will, underline, David remained, but David remained at Jerusalem. Verse 2. Then it happened one evening that David arose from his bed and walked on the roof of the king's house, and from the roof he saw a woman bathing. You can underline, he saw a woman bathing. And the woman was very beautiful to behold. So David sent and inquired about the woman. You can underline, David sent and inquired of the woman. Then David, and someone said, is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? Then David sent messengers and took her, and she came to him. Now, so that we do not forget, David was supposed to be at war front. He was at home, wrong location. David went out to look. Because it was a wrong location, he saw what he wasn't supposed to see. Now, that is wrong location and its consequences. But now the next thing, David inquired about the woman he saw. First line of temptation. Second line of temptation, and David sent messengers to get the woman. And she came, and he lay with her, for she was cleansed from her impurity, and she returned to her house, and the woman conceived. Now, the third step in this line was that after he called her, they brought her to him, then he had sexual relationship with him, a married woman. So, now he has committed the sin. The initial process was steps of temptation, but now he has committed the sin, the first sin. Now, the reason why we need to pay attention, David, God said, is a man after his own heart. David is precious to God. So put yourself and myself in the position of David. You are a righteous man, precious to God. Then David sent Joab, saying, verse 6 now, send me Uriah the Hittite. Now, we have concluded the first part of the sin and the first part of the temptation. Another level of temptation has begun now. David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. When Uriah had come to him, David asked how Joab was doing, and how the people were doing, and how the world prospered. And David said to Uriah, go down to your house and wash your feet. So Uriah departed from the king's house, and a gift of food from the king followed him. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and did not go down to his house. So when they told David, saying, Uriah did not go down to his house, David said to Uriah, did you not come from a journey? Why did you not go down to your house? Let's pause. Why did the Bible says they went and told David that Uriah did not go down to his house? So it means that there are others that knew about what was going on, and they knew what the king was trying to cover up. They knew what it was expected for Uriah to do, even though he did not know anything. So they knew what was going on. They were part of the sin and the cover-up. Yes, quote and unquote, they were members of his inner caucus. They were his friends. They were his ministers. They were his apostles. They were his colleagues. They were people around him. They were probably his children. They were probably his family members. They knew the sin that was being cooked, and they were part of it, because they were the one that went to tell him that Uriah did not go to his house. They were the one that said, oh yeah, we know this woman. This is who she is. They were the one that went to get the woman for him. Praise the Lord. Verse 11. And Uriah said to David, the ark and Israel and Judah are dwelling in tents, and my lord Joab and the servant of my lord are encamped in the open field. Shall I then go to my house and eat and drink and to lie with my wife? As you live and as your soul sleep, I will not do such a thing. Now, David, the man after God's own heart, let's say you and I, even at that point in time, let's say you have committed a particular sin, is your conscience not supposed to prick you that, okay, this man is saying the Ark of Covenant is in the field? Now, this man is conscientious about the things of God. Yet, at this point, this man, his conscience did not prick him about the evil that he was trying to perfect. Could that be you? Could that be me? Then David said to Uriah, wait here today, also and tomorrow I will let you depart. So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next. Now when David called him, and he ate and drank before him, and he made him drunk. David made him drunk. That's the second sin. David made him drunk. David was not just only committing sin by himself, he was ensuring or making people around him to commit sin. Because he was trying to cover up, he was trying to perfect that which has been done. He was making people around him to commit sin, to fall into sin. And at evening, he went out to lie on his bed with the servant of his Lord, but he did not go down to his house. In the morning, it happened that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter saying, set Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle and retreat from him, that he may be struck down and die. Now, that is another level of temptation. Now he has committed the first sin, the second sin. Now you can see the progression the heart of this man is taking. From a very small sin, there's no sin is small though. It was progressing, going down and doing everything. So everything is on the table as far as the cover-up is concerned. Could that be you? Could that be me? God has placed you in a position of honor, a position of authority, a position of influence. You and I, maybe head of household, maybe a father, a mother, maybe a leader. Once your sin began at a particular level, if unchecked, it begins to progress in the other direction downward. And this man could not stop to say, this is a man. But he wrote a letter and gave that man the letter of his own execution. Can you imagine? A bishop or a priest sending one of his followers to the person that will eliminate him. Not only that, getting others that are working for him or working along with him to be part of that evil scheme and plot. Verse 17, then the men of the city came out and fought valiantly and fought with Joab, and some of the people of the servant of David fell, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Now let's look at the scheme itself. Let's look at the scheme itself. He sent a letter by the hand of Uriah to Joab that once they attack the city, some of his colleagues should withdraw from him so that he can be exposed and so that he can be killed. He planned everything. Not only that, he got his fellow brothers and sisters, Christian brothers and sisters, fellow soldiers, because we are soldiers of the cross, to work against him. Yet their conscience did not prick them that this is one of us. And they actually withdrew from him so that he can be killed. Is that the kind of Christian brother or sister you are? Or what kind of Christian brother or sister you are you? What kind of soldier of the cross are you? So messengers went. Okay, praise the Lord. Verse 18. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war, and charged the messenger, saying, when you have finished telling the matters of the war to the king, if it happens that the king wrath rises, and he says to you, why did you approach so near to the city? When you fought, did you not know that they will shoot from the wall? Who struck Abimelech, the son of Jerubeshet? Was it not a woman who cast a piece of milestone on him from the wall, so that he died in Thebes? Why do you go near the wall? Then you shall say, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. I need you to underline that when you go back home, go and ponder on that statement. The commander, Uriah's commander, says, when you get to the king and you are telling him all this news, and if he is angry, just tell him that Uriah the Hittite is dead also. When you go home, go and ponder on it. It's like the general overseer, just example that we can relate to, saying, okay, this is what is going on, but it's like, maybe an HOD or a very high leader now wanted to send a report to the general overseer, now says, when you have told him so, and if he's angry at you, just tell him this. Because David is the highest hierarchy, and his commander are more or less the next in level to him. And these are supposed to be soldiers of the cross, so to say. And he said, if you have told him all this and he's angry, just tell him that Uriah the Hittite is dead too. That means the cover-up has been perfected. I asked us a question previously. What kind of soldier of the cross are you? What kind of brother, what kind of sister are you? What kind of husband, what kind of wife are you? What kind of leader are you? Because there are different levels of leadership. Verse 22. Okay. So the messenger went and came and told David all that Joab had sent him. And the messenger said to David, surely the men prevailed against us and came out to us in the field. Then we drove them back as far as the entrance of the gate. The archers shot from the wall at your servant, and some of the king's servants are dead, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. Now look at the response of David. Then David said to the messenger, though you shall say to Joab, do not let this thing displease you, for the sword devours one as well as another. Strengthen your attack against the city and overthrow it. So encourage him. When David heard that Uriah the Hittite is dead, he said, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just go after the city now and destroy it. Now, I'll be saying, what kind of soldier of the cross are you? Now, the next question is, what kind of leader are you? Are you the type of leader that sacrifices your followers for your own gain? For what? If you are trying to cover up something? Are you the kind of leader that, it may be a father, it may be a mother, it may be in church environment, it may be in secular environment. What kind of leader are you? What kind of leader am I? You have seen at least so many stories in this land where husband set up their wife and kill them and cover everything up. You have seen all kinds of stories like that. Somebody you took to the altar, you got married, you got wedded, and you say, I love you, you have children, and then you set her up or set him up, as the case may be. What kind of leader are you? Verse 26 and 27, which is our last verse we are going to read. When the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah, her husband, was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when her mourning was over, David sent and brought her to his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. Now, before we go to the last statement, when Uriah's wife heard her husband was dead, she mourned for him. How did she know that her husband was dead? I will assume David sent the messengers to her. How did I come to that conclusion? Verse 27. And when her mourning was over, David sent and brought her to his house. So despite everything that has happened, David was not satisfied. He was ready to take that woman to be his wife at any cost. Last statement. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. That is where we'll start this morning. But the thing that David has done displeased the Lord. Spiritual insensitivity and its consequences. Now, those who are with us on Friday in workers in training, they've already have a little of this. The first thing is this that we are going to look at is the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord. Now, for good understanding, what is the fear of the Lord? See, the Spirit of God is one. This morning, our pastor was talking about the fear of the Lord when he was talking to the ministers. What is the fear of the Lord? The fear of the Lord is utmost reverence and deep love for God, coupled with deep hatred for sin that make us to be able to follow Him. The fear of the Lord is utmost reverence for God, coupled with deep love for Him, coupled with deep hatred for sin, which help us to live holy. For the last time, the fear of the Lord is utmost reverence plus deep love, coupled with deep hatred for sin. That is the fear of the Lord. Today we are not looking at fear the other way, being afraid of. So fear is utmost reverence for God with deep love for God and hatred for sin. Matthew 22 from verse 37 to 38. Let's put it on the screen. Matthew 22 from verse 37 to 38. Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first commandment. Next. The second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbors as thyself. Say we should love the Lord with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our mind. And second is love thy neighbor as thyself. There are 6 things I'm going to list that the fear of the Lord allow us or empower us to do. Number 1, the fear of the Lord wants us to always please Him and to be at peace with Him. When you have the fear of the Lord, you want to always please God and to always be at peace with Him. It is the fear of the Lord that makes us to be able to love Him with all our heart, with all our mind, with all our soul, and to serve Him. It is the fear of the Lord that helps us to live holy. I'm still on the same point. It is the fear of the Lord that helps us to live holy. It is the fear of the Lord that helps us to want to always please Him. Because you have utmost reverence and love for Him, you will want to always please Him. If you have seen 2 people that are deeply in love, they want to always please each other, even sometimes to the point of quote and unquote stupidity. So it's the fear of the Lord that wants us to always please Him and to be at peace with Him. Number 2, it is the fear of the Lord that always wants us to obey Him at any cost. The fear of the Lord makes us to want to obey Him. To obey Him. Say, Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I may not sin against you. If you have no fear of the Lord, everybody is dispensable to you. If you don't have the fear of the Lord, you will do something and there will be no consequences, particularly when you have power, when you have authority, when you are in a privileged position, when you are at a higher hierarchy to people that are under you. It may be your husband to a wife or to his children or family. It can be in all kinds of scenarios. But for us Christians, it is the fear of the Lord that ensures that we want to obey Him. Number 3, the fear of the Lord makes us to serve Him conscientiously. To serve Him conscientiously. Number 4, The fear of the Lord ensures that we are engaged in proper administration of justice. The fear of the Lord ensures that we are engaged in proper administration of justice. It ensures, because you have the fear of the Lord, the person that is wrong, you do not say they are right. Because maybe you have been bribed, or maybe there is a privileged relationship between the two of you to the disadvantage of the other person. The fear of the Lord ensures that we are engaged in proper administration of justice. Number 5, the fear of the Lord helps everyone in leadership position to engage in responsible and good government. The fear of the Lord helps everyone in position of leadership to engage in responsible and good government. Now, when we're talking about government, don't just think about political structure. We are talking about political structure. We are talking about maybe business environment. We are talking about home front. The fear of the Lord helps us to be engaged in responsible and good government. Or you can quote and unquote, godly leadership. Godly leadership. Number 6, which is the last one on this side. And this I added this morning after our morning prayer with Pastor. The fear of the Lord helps us to totally trust Him and depend on Him. The fear of the Lord helps us to trust Him absolutely and totally depend on Him. You know what? That is the definition of faith. Absolute trust and dependency of God. The fear of the Lord helps us to do that. Now, that is under the fear of the Lord. The second heading, leadership and followership relationship. Leadership and followership relationship. Going from this story that we have read, our relationship, particularly as Christians, is supposed to be symbiotic. It's supposed to be a two-way traffic. It's not a one-way traffic of one person give, or another person take. It's supposed to be a symbiotic relationship. That means we are in it together. And we are working on it together. Even though one person is not as strong as the other person. Even though at this particular point in time, one person is not contributing as much as the other person. As long as we have that mindset of we are in it together. And we are working on it together. That is why that phrase, United States of America, is so powerful. Where it says, united we stand. Divided we fall. In our relationship, number 2 now, what you give is what you get back. How you serve your relationship is how it eventually will serve you. What you give is what you get. If you go back and read about David and the men that were with him at the initial stage, David's men, they grew with him. They were like people from the street, people that were rejected, and they grew with him. And they became one strong army. So the question is, what happened between that time and now? That the people that he surrounded himself with are people that will help to do his bidding, that will take him down and take some of them down. And eventually that almost took him down and brought a lot of hardship to his family. That's under consequences. Galatians 6, but here there's a proviso. That's a condition. Here I say, even if a relationship does not serve you well at a point in time, continue to be faithful and committed for the good of that relationship, because according to God, in due season, we will reap or get our reward, or our reward will come to us. That is Galatians 6 verse 9. So we should continue to work at our relationship. Number 3, let your relationship be based on the truth, sincerity, and love of God. We should allow our relationship to be based on truth, sincerity, and the love of God. Now, if the relationship between David and the people around him were based on the truth, sincerity, and love of God, one of them at a point in time would have been able to say, sir, this thing you are doing, this woman is our brother Uriah's wife. Brother Uriah is at the war front for you, sir. Or Joab, because Joab, one of these soldiers, have challenged eventually when there was problem. Challenged David down the road. When David said, when one of his sons died, was killed, and David was crying, he went after him and said, okay, why are you crying? Do you prefer that all of us should die because of your son? We just saved your life. Then why did he not do it at this point in time? So, one of them could have called him aside and said, sir, you are going the wrong way. If you do this, this is what is going to happen. Moreover, you are a man of God. I'm sure if one of them spoke to him and called his attention, or tried to pull him back, that he would respond. I put a note here. Under sub 3, let your relationship be based on the truth, sincerity, and love of God. Leaders must be told the truth. They need to hear. Leaders must be told the truth that they need to hear, rather than what they want to hear, to do right and please God, rather than sin against God and go the wrong way, that eventually lead to their downfall and loss of lives. These people, they refuse or they fail. And you can see what they were saying. Joab said, if Oga is angry, just tell him that Uriah's wife is dead. Can you imagine that? He said, just tell him that Uriah's wife is dead and he will be okay. Knowing fully well that is what David wants to hear, but also knowing fully well that is a sin against God, that is detrimental to him, to the soldiers. Praise the Lord. Now, the third heading, David, a man after God's own heart, backslided. Number one, we have already looked at this before. Particularly for you and I as Christians, as believers, location matter. Wrong location physically and spiritually is detrimental to every believer. Wrong location physically and spiritually is detrimental to every believer, no matter your position, but particularly as a leader. Because if you are wrongly located physically and spiritually, because you are physically wrongly located, you will see and experience or encounter what you're not supposed to. Then two, when you are spiritually wrongly located, you will be acting out of the flesh in response to spiritual matters. Example, at one point, Peter says to Jesus that Jesus Christ is Christ. At another point in time, Jesus was telling him, I will go to the cross, I will die, I will resurrect. He said, no. Far be it from you. And Jesus said to him, get away from me. Same man, but spiritually, two different situations. Wrong. One point it was rightly located, second point it was wrongly located. So for you and I, particularly as leaders, if you are spiritually wrongly located, you will be acting out of the flesh in response to spiritual matters. And that will take not just only you, but those following you in the wrong direction. Which is what was happening to David. And the people that were following him, they actually were following him in the wrong direction. Even though I would suspect they knew that Oga, so to say, is already going in the wrong direction. Number two, lack of constant renewal to empower and fortify ourselves. Part of the reason how I assume that led to David's backsliding was a lack of constant renewal. How did that come about that? David is the one that wrote most of the Psalms. So you will know that David was a man of prayer. You would know that David was a man who was always going to the presence of the Lord. We have the proof, we have the evidence. But if you read very well, when David now became king, is now enthroned, is now in the palace, he has rested from his troubles. All the enemies that were running after him, you could see the difference. This passage started by saying, at a season when men go to war, Israel went to war too. But what happened? David stayed back. It means that there has already been a shift, a change. When we believers cease or begin to draw back from constant renewal, because you have come to the promised land now, you and I. I'm not talking about coming to America now. I'm talking about you have come to the place of rest. You have come to the place of abundance. Now you can now relax and lay back. And that thing that brought you to where you are now takes the back seat, which is what happened to David. Which is what happened to David. And that will happen to you and I. Because we've seen men of God backslided before. Number 3, prayerlessness. Under number 2, I have Psalm 111 and the entire Psalm 111 and then Joshua 1:8. We know Joshua 1:8 very well, where it says, "This book of the Lord shall not depart from your mouth. You meditate upon it day and night. You endeavor to do everything that is written in it," and all that and all that. So that's what we have in Joshua 1:8. Number 3, prayerlessness. Let's have James 5:6. James 5:16. Actually, let's go to 2 Chronicles 7:13-14. "If I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land." Now, there's a sequence there. If my people that are called by my names shall humble themselves and pray. We need to humble ourselves before God and pray without ceasing. Seek His face. Prayerlessness remove power or reduces power of Christians. We shouldn't want others to pray for us. It is good if the pastor prays for you occasionally. Nothing is bad about that. It is good. But it should not replace your own prayer, your own constant prayer with your God. At your own time daily, your own quiet time. It should not replace that. Pastor's prayer for you should be an addition, not a replacement. A prayerless Christian is a powerless Christian. And not just about power. When we do not pray, we become less spiritually sensitive. When we do not pray, we become less spiritually sensitive. Our spiritual environment is clouded and crowded. So much noise. Number 4, sin. One sin will lead to another sin. And this downward retrogression will continue if not checked. That's why as we are reading, I was pointing out the different level of temptation, the different degree of sin that David was committing. Even though he was still the king, even though he was still the pastor, even though he was still the head of the household, one sin was leading to other, one sin was leading to another. And the man continued. He committed one sin and he did not stop there. Began another level and series of sin. He did not stop there. He saw Uriah's wife. From the temptation, he made love to the woman. The woman became pregnant. Did not stop there. Okay, now how do I perfect this? He called the man from the war front, brought him home to cover all the sin. It did not work. He got him drunk. It did not work. He didn't stop there. He sent a letter to the war front for the man to get killed. Why he was doing all these things? This was a man after God's own heart. It did not stop. Then, after he got the man killed, then now he went after the woman, because then kings have the power of life and death, and took the woman. Look at that series. Even though we are reading this thing, it could be maybe 6 months. 6 month period that we are reading, 6 month period that we are reading about. And for that 6 months, this man that God loves so much will still not stop, was still dwelling in sin. Remember in workers training yesterday, we said that there's a difference between falling into sin for a Christian and dwelling in sin. Now this man fell into sin, but now he's dwelling in sin. It is an abomination for a believer to dwell in sin. A believer could, mark my word, could fall into sin. But because sin is no longer your natural nature, because your natural nature has been exchanged for the nature of God, because the Holy Spirit is now indwelling in you, sin is no longer your natural nature. But the moment a believer falls into sin and continues to dwell in sin, there is trouble. The question is that you? Is that me? Could that be you? Could that be me? Number 5. Number 5 is where we are going to stop because the consequences is a lot. But let me go back to number 4. We say this downward retrogression will continue if not checked. Every believer that falls into sin, they are at certain degree of retrogression. Now, my advice is this. It is your responsibility and my responsibility to run to the Lord for help. Sometimes if you need to relocate, remember we spoke about location. Even 2 weeks ago we also spoke about location. If you need to relocate, for you to deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter or the lion that is trying to kill you, you better do it. Because the lion wants a meal. Gazelle wants to live. Whoever is more desperate is the one that will survive. Because the Bible says, Satan, our adversary, goes about like a roaring lion, seeking whom to devour. Now, do you know you are the one he's going after, and the one he's going after? It's not up to you to make up your mind. It's not going to get me. It depends on how desperate you are to escape. If you need to run, run. If you need to relocate, relocate. Whatever you need to do. Number 5. The relationship will develop. The relationship will maintain. The relationship will gain or lose. Determines the direction eventually we will go. The relationship will develop. The relationship will maintain. The relationship will gain or lose determine the direction eventually will go. In other words, okay, one more time. The relationship you develop, the relationship you maintain, gain or lose determine the direction will go. To summarize that, who you surround yourself with matters. What kind of people do you surround yourself with? Those that are not beneficiary to you, you need to cut them off. The people that will not add to your benefit, to your progress, cut them off. Do not harbor cancer. Do not dress cancer. Do not dress that which will kill you. Do not dress that will lead you the wrong direction. Detach. Write that word in bold letter. Paint it red. Let it be evident for everybody to see. Detach. anything, any relationship, anybody, brother, sister, uncle, cousin, husband, wife, detach. Otherwise, both of you are going down together. Somebody is trying to take you down, and you are, hello, and he's trying to take you down. Any relationship that is not beneficiary to you, detach from it. Any person that does not hurt to you, cut them off. This daily relationship, he paid dearly for it. When we look at the consistency, you will see the price David paid. He paid dearly for it. Don't wait on the consequences of wrong relationship will ruin your life. And not just only that, this is where it pains most. As we round up, as a leader, the consequences does not come to you alone. If it's a father or mother, it comes to the children, and sometimes the children's children. It goes beyond just you. It goes to your followers. It goes to their relatives. It goes to their family members. There will be people that did not even know how it started, that will be casualties. Brethren, do not play with spiritual insensitivity. Shall we pray? Let's sing that song one more time. Choir will help us.
A sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for the awesome privilege we have. Holy Spirit, we thank you, Lord, for speaking to us. Father, Lord God Almighty, indeed, O Lord, that we shall be a living sacrifice, holy, pure. That when we are tried, that we shall be proved to be true. In the mighty name of Jesus. Father, Lord God Almighty, we thank you, Lord. Holy Spirit, we are grateful for this awesome privilege we have. We, your children, that you, our Heavenly Father, constantly talk to us, guide us, lead us, instruct us, correct us. Father, we thank you. It shows that we are not bastards, that we are children indeed. Because it is the children that the Father, Lord, that He corrects, that He instructs, that He directs. Father, we are grateful. Lord, we bless your holy name. Lord, we honor you. Father, we be doers of your word and not hearers only. We will follow you. Your fear, the utmost reverence and love we have for you, we will obey you. We will do your bidding.
Amen.
Father, as you correct us, we will respond. We will humble ourselves before you. And we will pray. We will dwell before you, Lord. We shall not be far from you. We will dwell in your presence, that you might abide with us. Thank you, mighty God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.